Lender's mortgage insurance is the worst, and today we're going to talk through how you can get it waived because there's a cost which effectively covers the bank. So let's dive in and have a look at the definitive guide on how you can get your mortgage insurance waived. So what are we looking at here? We're looking at ways that you can get your insurance waived, and there's a bunch of different options you have. Today we're going to talk about the ways you can get insurance waivers through other banks, through schemes that are available, and even through a guarantor as an option. Let's have a look at what mortgage insurance is first. It's effectively an insurance you pay for not having a 20% deposit. It does not cover you whatsoever. It covers the bank in the event that there's a foreclosure on your home and they sell the property for less than the loan amount. Effectively, the insurance comes in and pays the difference. What actually happens, and a lot of people don't know this, is the mortgage insurance will then follow you up to pay back the premium that they've paid. So it's a sort of a silly insurance because it doesn't cover you for anything. It just covers the bank. It's compulsory when you have less than a 20% deposit. And it's a figure, can be thousands of dollars, that gets added on top of your loan. So as we can see in this example here, if you're purchasing for an $800,000 property, the insurance could cost you up to $34,000 if you have a minimum deposit. That $34,500 or $34,372 to be precise, that gets added on top of your loan. So you're actually paying mortgage repayments on that, plus interest is getting calculated. So it's an absolute sort of insurance that everyone hates to pay. We hate it as well. So let's look at ways you can get it waived. Now, there's a couple different directions we can look at. One is through a professional. So if you're a doctor, accountant, lawyer, physio, etc., that's one way to get it waived. Another way is if you're a first homeowner, we've got the home guarantee scheme available. One other avenue is if you're a home buyer with a 15% deposit. And then the last is through a parental guarantee. Let's deep dive into each of these and look at what they are and how you can qualify for it. So firstly, from the top, if you're a doctor and you're looking to get waivers, all you need to do is have membership through APRA, which is pretty common, and to be a medical professional, general practitioner. Interestingly, vets are available. So if you're a veterinarian, dentist, you're a specialty in a specific field, then you can absolutely get your mortgage insurance waived. You can lend up to 100% of the property's value, which is pretty unique. You don't really need a deposit other than any stamp duty that would be applicable. This is available for properties to live in or investment. Property value can't exceed $4.5 million. Now, a couple things to keep in mind. Every lender here has different policies. Some lenders won't do 100%, they'll do 95%. Other lenders might only do 90%. So just keep in mind, this is all high level. If you are looking at options and understanding what you will qualify for, well, hit us up at Hunter Galloway on 1300 088 065, where we can do an assessment and give you a better understanding of what's available. Now, for other medical professionals that is also have industry membership through APRA, such as optometrists, chiropractors, pharmacists, audiologists, occupational therapists, osteopaths, podiatrists, psychologists, radiographers, and sonographers, there are also options for you to get your mortgage insurance waived. Up to 90% of the property value, can't exceed a $2 million loan amount, and that's both for investment and properties to live in. Couple things to be aware of here. Some lenders do have a minimum income requirement assessment you need to qualify for. So that might be $120,000, that might be $90,000, that might be $150,000. So every lender's got a different requirement. Some lenders actually don't have income specification. So whilst one lender might actually say, no, we can't get your insurance waived, we might have another lender that can look at it. So it pays to have a chat with us where we can review your options and see what you qualify for. Now, outside of the medical field, accountants, professional athletes, entertaining professionals, and lawyers also have insurance waivers. So for example, professional athletes, we've had people from the NRL, players from the NRL actually hit us up where we've been able to get their insurance waiver. Accountants, pretty straightforward. Entertainments, this might be a singer or anything like that, can get your mortgage insurance waiver. So for accountants, you actually need to be qualified through and have a relevant membership through CPA or IPA or any other industry recognized organization and globally recognized organizations. So for example, if you're with the Chartered Practicing Accountants of Australia, that is the membership that's required as the first step. And then the second step, some lenders actually need you to be practicing. So you need to be in a role where you're actually an accountant, you're a CFO, you're a financial manager, auditor, or actuary, and also have met certain income requirements. So some of them need you to be on 120, others need you to be on 150. And once again, we've got other lenders that don't have that income requirement. Important to know here as well, we do have other lenders that don't need you to be working in the field. So as long as you got your CPA and you're up to date on your membership, you'd qualify for LMI waiver and you don't have an income minimum requirement there. So something pretty interesting there. Same with legal professionals, solicitors, judges, barristers, lawyers. As long as you've got your practicing certificate and it's up to date, you would qualify for an insurance waiver. Some lenders need you practicing in the field, others don't. There are some lenders that also have minimum income requirement. So once again, case by case, depending on your profession as an athlete, there will be other considerations that the banks need to look at, such as having an accredited agent or manager working with you. So they're probably the main things if you're a professional athlete or entertainer that you need to be having an agent or a manager. Now, key things here, maximum lend 90% of the property value. It is available for properties to live in and investment properties, and you can't lend over $2 million. Moving on. How can you lend 105% of the property value with no mortgage insurance? Well, the quick and easy option is through a parental guarantee. So if you have a family member who owns a property and is happy to help you get into the market, whether it be the first time, whether you've not had a property for a while and you're looking to get back in the market, upgrading or downgrading, well, a parental guarantee is a fantastic way to do that with literally no deposit. So the way it works is the bank would put a second mortgage on mum or dad's, uncle or auntie's, brother or sister, whoever would be the guarantor's property. And that would allow you to lend up to 105% of the property value with no mortgage insurance. Few key takeaways here for the guarantors is that you probably don't want them selling their property anytime soon, because that is a second mortgage on their property. When they sell that property, that would actually be something that would need to be paid out. And I guess the parental guarantors need to understand the risks associated with that there, in the sense that if you didn't pay your mortgage and the bank did foreclose, well, then that guarantee could be called upon. Well, it most likely will be called upon. So it is important they get legal advice there and understand what they're getting into. Another option for lending up to 95% with no mortgage insurance is a first home guarantee scheme. This actually started on the 1st of July this year. You can lend up to 95% of the property value, which is absolutely awesome. You can get in with a 5% deposit. There's no specific roles or professions you need to be in, and you can buy it as long as you're a first homeowner. Unfortunately, you do need to be a citizen, so that's probably the only little bugbear I have with this scheme. It's not available for permanent residents, and there is an income limit. So income limit for FY 2022. So you need to have your tax returns lodged. If you're single, you can't have earned more than $125,000. If you're a couple, you can't have earned more than $200,000. There also is a price location limit. So as we can see here, there is price cap. So New South Wales, 900,000, Victoria, 800,000, Queensland, 700,000, Western Australia, 600,000, South Australia, 600,000, and so on and so forth. This is up from the previous scheme, which is previously known as for the first home loan deposit scheme. That was a little bit lower, about 100,000 lower in a lot of states. Now the home guarantee scheme has higher price caps, plus more spots. There's 35,000 spots available, where previously there was only 10,000. Once again, if you are after information on this, hit us up at huntergalloway.com.au or give us a call on 1300 088 065. We can do an assessment. There's absolutely no cost for our service, so we can understand where you qualify and what we can achieve. Other options, if you don't qualify for any of these so far, well, the good thing is if you have a 15% deposit, you don't have any requirements such as working in a specific field. You don't need to be a first homeowner. As long as you're going to live in the property, we can get your mortgage insurance waived. So that'll save you thousands of dollars there. As mentioned, no first homeowners. The only thing you do need to have is a fairly strong income position, because the banks won't allow you to lend 6 times your income. So what that means is if your income's $100,000, 6 times your income would mean $600,000 would be your maximum borrowing limit. Although in a lot of times, if your income's 100 grand, we probably can get your borrowing power up to about that 740-ish mark. So it just means that the amount that you can borrow is limited by the fact that you've got to meet that debt to income ratio requirement. There's no need to show a savings history as well. It's for a maximum loan amount of $500,000, and you can lend up to 85% with no mortgage insurance. There's a similar scheme or similar option available with other lenders where they'll do 85% waiver for first homeowners for $1. It's pretty similar as above. There's no income or job requirements. You've got to be a first homeowner. Interestingly, if it's you and your partner, one of you just needs to be a first homeowner to qualify for this. There's no genuine savings requirements. And the only thing that's slightly different is the the purchase price can't exceed $1 million because they won't lend more than $850,000 on the property. The mortgage insurance is waived and you only pay $1. So some awesome, sort of things available. I guess with these options, you do need a slightly larger deposit is probably the only thing that I can think of there. And I guess when we look at that mortgage insurance, how much are you actually saving? What does that mean from a dollars and cents point of view? Well, looking at, for example, a $750,000 property with a 5% deposit, the insurance that you'd otherwise be paying is $34,000. Equally, with a 5% deposit on $500,000, it's $17,000. So what that means is that insurance is usually added on top of your loan. Well, in every case is added on top of your loan. So you're paying interest on that, plus you're paying repayments on that. What that means is over a 30-year term, you're effectively paying double. You're paying 17 grand for the principal you paid, plus it works out to be 17 grand in the interest that you have capitalizing and compounding over the 30-year term. So it does equate to a fair bit of cash that is of cost to you. And equally, if you have a 10% deposit or a 5% deposit, we can see it's a sliding scale. So it goes a little bit lower the greater the deposit you have, but it's still a bit of a cost that is not covering you for anything and is annoying to pay. So if you can get it waived, it makes a lot of sense. The good thing is with a lot of these mortgage insurance waiver options, the rates that you're paying aren't going to be higher. And even if they are, for example, slightly higher, 0.2% on a $500,000 loan, let's call that $1,000 a year. If you're saving $1,000 a year, if you're saving $9,000, you might think it makes sense to pay that extra $1,000 in interest because you can just refinance after a year or two once you're back under that 80% land. So always getting that insurance does tend to make sense. But once again, that's something that we would help you with understanding. We do it a feasibility and work out whether paying the mortgage insurance versus other alternative options makes more sense than not make sense. If you are trying to find out what the mortgage insurance might cost you, well, jump on our website, huntergalloway.com.au/no-LMI-and-90-LVR, and you can actually do a calculation for yourself. So if you're looking for a $600 loan amount, you've got $670 property value, and you don't qualify for anything, your mortgage insurance you'd be looking at is going to be 15 grand. Gives you a bit of an idea on where you stand, and then you can actually click inquire now and hit us up and we can talk it through with you. So that's what it looks like. There are other professions that we do get asked about, nurses in particular, with LMI waivers. Typically, we can do like a 15% LMI 15% deposit LMI waiver, and then obviously other professionals that get the insurance waived. We talked about the discounts that you get. So even as a first homeowner or a professional, we tend to get larger discounts when there's a waiver involved because the banks see it as a lower risk. So that's what it looks like today, guys. Here at Hunter Galloway, we help home buyers get in the market. So we also help with refinancing. If you're looking to buy an investment, build a portfolio, talk strategy around that, hit us up at huntergalloway.com.au. We're the home buyers for homeowners across Australia. So if you're living in Perth, in Adelaide, you're in Sydney, We're based in Brisbane, but we deal with people Australia-wide. So call us on 1300 088 065. There's absolutely no cost for this service. Visit our website, huntergalloway.com.au, and we'd love to chat. Until next time, thanks so much for watching.